Doing great, Tank.
Awesome. And then, of course, we got Goose. How you doing, Goose?
What's going on? What's going on? Can't wait to get into this episode.
Yeah. Hey, how do y'all like that? I told y'all last week that we have
I'm feeling it.
background music.
Definitely feeling it, man.
Digging it. My head's moving. It's good.
Good deal. It sounded pretty, Dragon Ball Z-ish, Bruce
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll get into that. But before we do, I just want to let you all know last week, or this past week, I was watching Dragon Ball Z. I was actually watching Junior saga. And I caught a couple episodes with her, like towards the end of it, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In Dragon Ball Z Kai, I should have done the research on it, but I didn't. Maybe you'll know. Did Dragon Ball Z Kai still include the Garlic Jr. saga?
That I didn't know because, Kai was one of those things I never got into. I had thought about it because I thought, from what I understood, Kai kind of cleaned up what the original Dragon Ball Z was. Made it, maybe the translation was a little better, it's a little cleaner looking. But I don't know if they included Garlic Jr. But if they didn't, it wouldn't be a big deal because it was kind of one of those things that was out there originally. It was just like, hey, what do we do between the Namekian saga and Trunks / Android saga? What do we do? Oh, let's just have them go on an adventure. And then the only cool thing about Garlic Jr. for me was that Vegeta starts to like search for Goku, or search kind of for, you start to see him find a way to become surpass Goku, become a Super Saiyan, because he wasn't a Super Saiyan at that point. So you kind of see that a little bit in the Garlic Jr. saga. That's why I ultimately watched it. You're clawing for a way to find more that leads up to the Trunks Android saga, but you only get like a little snippet, and then you have to wait. So
yeah. So I'm looking here at a forum here, and I'm not sure on the accuracy or not, and I'll have a definite answer for you next week. But it looks like it was actually cut out.
Well, yeah, and that's probably why I don't really remember the Garlic saga, because it's
Whoa! Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Leo. I mean,
party
Goose.
foul.
Was that Steve-O?
That was not me, sir.
That was me.
Goose?
Hold on, wait. Is that the one where they're talking about the dead zone?
Yes.
Okay, and then I vaguely remember it. I don't actively remember it, but I vaguely remember it. Yeah. And I can get an L for that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and then afterwards,
like Steve-O said, it was cut out. All right, bitch, please.
Yeah. So and afterwards, oh my, there's even more filler, and it's like some sort of cheesy character development for Krillin, for him and Marin.
Oh yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
it was brutal. Like they had to go to like the deep, him and Gohan go to the deep ends of the sea to find a pearl, and and then like
Oh, I remember that one.
and then they try to, and then they feel bad about stealing it from the fish. Like, what are the fish are gonna do with it? Like, what do the fish need to protect that pearl for? What does it do to them? You know what I mean? Like, does it feed them? No, take it. You know, if it's gonna get Krillin some, a little bit of booty, might as well get it. You know. And then at the end, he doesn't get it. And then what happens? He dumps Mary. You idiot! Like, just let it ride. Like, let it go. Let it go to like the deepest end of like toxic relationships, and just let it end brutally with an assault charge. But
Krillin kept going for it. Yeah, I told him no.
she only has one arm because of his destructo disc. No, but it was, man, it wasn't hard to watch because I said, like, I was watching it with my friend who was watching it for the first time and getting her like natural like first time reactions. Like that was really cool to me, and that's something that you don't see a lot because a lot. One, I don't have a lot of friends. Two, the friends that I do have seen it already. But yeah, no, it was something that doesn't need to be in there. It really doesn't. I mean, if anything, it just I don't know. It kind of elevated like Kami's and Piccolo's story a little bit, but that could have been done so much easier, like in an episode or two. And I'm not trying again. Like I always feel like I'm shitting on the thing that I love the most. But there's so many cool badass parts that I love about this show, and just this one just wasn't one of them.
Well, it kind of the only persons that might like that saga would have been the diehard early Dragon Ball Z movie fans, because this is actually a continuation of I talked about it in the last episode, the first Dragon Ball Z movie, or I think it was the first or second one, I can't remember, but it was it introduces Garlic Jr.
Gotcha.
It kind of it's the only movie that I know of that kind of follows canon with the Dragon Ball Z series.
Series, right?
Or it was actually a bridge between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, because it features Piccolo. It has Gohan, but Gohan's he's kind of introduced a little bit. He gets drunk in the movie because he eats this fruit that has like some kind of weird alcoholic properties. So it's just like it's a kind of a strange movie to begin with, but it features Garlic Jr. and I think it features it introduces the Dead Zone, which comes up again in the Garlic Jr. saga. So if you're like I like watching all of it, then maybe it does something for you. But as far as anticipation, I just remember anticipation for Android Saga, Trunk Saga, and I just kept watching it because I wanted to see if I can get something from it. And back then, I mean, if I knew I could avoid it because I could like read something else online, I would have. But it was just there; it's the only thing available.
That's awesome. And well, that being said about Garlic Jr. Oh well, I'm not sure. I mean, and again, you're more of an expert on this than I am, Steve-O, and maybe Goose too. But what's the resemblance between Garlic Jr. and Garlic and Pilaf?
I mean, they're both like demon-like creatures, like small demon-like creatures.
But there's no direct relation to them.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
All right. Yeah. So, it was just because Garlic Jr. sounds a lot like Pilaf, and I'm willing to bet it's the same voice actor.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like they're cousins or some shit like that.
No, for sure. But yeah, no, definitely. And I was reading on him, and we can put the Garlic Jr. saga to rest, where it definitely belongs in the graveyard. But I was reading online too, and as we're watching this show, I'm like, man, like I'm thinking about the end already. There's no plans for like a season 2 as of yet. Like, there's nothing going on besides the manga.
What?
Yeah. Like,
are you serious?
They're not even in, like, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna happen, but man, we're probably gonna wait a long time. Just like our conversation about Dragon Ball Z to GT, or even to Super, Dragon Ball Z to Super. So just want to shut that one out there.
I don't know if it's also because there's that side series Dragon Ball Heroes, I
Yeah.
believe. So I mean, like I don't know if it's hey, this is picking up steam. They're gonna go with this or see where that goes.
But is that
Because
is
I
that is that is that related to uh, what is it, Toonami or?
I don't think so. I think that's its own thing on its own, and if I might be wrong about this, but I think it's more of a fan like driven, like,
Oh,
hey, you see, tell us what you want, and then we'll like introduce that, or I don't know. It's just kind of it's on its own. It has no real,
yeah.
basis on the canon of any of the series. It's like, and because I think GT like heroes or characters are in that. So you got Super
Hmm.
Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta or something like that. You got some weird mix-ups in there. So I figured, oh,
Yeah.
man, this must be like fan-based content. Like, hey, I want to see this. Like,
Yeah,
here it is.
and it's funny because like as I do more research, like especially on YouTube, like I watch like real experts. And side note, sidebar, I am not an expert in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super whatsoever. I am just a big fan. So I don't know all the answers. I don't want anyone to get the impression that anyone here are experts on Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, or any that whole universe. We just love it. But anyway, that being said, uh, um, uh, from the research I'm doing, like on the episodes and stuff, and and uploading to the channel now, I'm getting a lot of recommendations, and I'm seeing like a lot of new fusions on the manga. Like it's actually a really interesting story that I'm not a manga reader whatsoever, but I'm actually very intrigued about what's going on in that universe after
Yeah.
the end of the first season. But anyway, I digress. Anything else y'all want to mention before we get into the episode?
I mean, to what you're saying, Tank. I mean, I'd be curious to look into the manga now that what you've just said, because
Yeah.
if we're not going to get any new episodes anytime soon,
Yeah.
then I'm like, hey man, maybe I should just read it because it is just like you. I'll once in a while hear see some articles, and I stray away from it because I don't want to like
Right.
spoil it.
You don't want to
But
blow
then
your load,
again,
Hmm.
bro.
right. So I'm just like, okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe do I wait a year? Do I, because Super to me, it snuck up on me. I had
Yeah.
been out of the
Yeah.
DBZ game, Dragon Ball universe for a while, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
hey, do you know there's Super? There's Dragon Ball Super now. There's new. I was like, what? Okay, I got to get into it now,
Yeah.
and I did. But so I'm kind of on that right now on that fence of
Yeah.
maybe there's going to be more some episodes in the next couple of years to be realistic. But if nothing's on the horizon, I'm looking to that manga.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
For sure.
And Sibo, you're not alone. I mean, as soon as I saw GT with Goku going in space, I pretty much checked out. I was out of the game for a long time, and you're right. Like I was introduced to Dragon Ball Super in like Goku Black, so I missed
Yeah,
so much when it first came out. And yeah, you're not alone.
yeah.
And for people who have not seen that saga that Goose had mentioned,
Don't. Don't.
what get out
A
of here?
waste of fucking space.
No, it's not. Anyway,
This is.
so what I was about to say is, it is not a a racial reference to Goku's skin, and not
What the fuck?
just throwing that out there.
It's horrible, Goose.
You know,
Jeez.
That's
no,
what
no,
he's
no.
called.
Yeah, I know
That's
that's what
what
he's
it's
called.
called.
I know that's what he's called, but and I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just saying for people who haven't seen that episode or that saga, I don't want them to get the wrong impression of Dragon Ball Z Super.
Got
Okay, let's get
I
into the
got you.
show. All right, let's get into it. All right, so we are on episode 22 of Dragon Ball Z Super. It's called Change, an unexpected return. His name is Ginyu. And, for those who actually, I'm not sure why you would, but if you don't know who Ginyu is, I recommend you stop listening. Well, actually, finish watching this, or listening to this. Go back and watch Dragon Ball Z, and then, or actually, just watch the Frieza saga, or the Captain Ginyu saga. There you go, the Ginyu Force saga. Anyway, this aired originally in Japan on December 16th, 2015. The English air date wouldn't arrive till almost 2 years later, June 17th, 2017. And, some shit goes down. Let me ask you something. And I'm asking the audience too. Do y'all like when I read those paragraphs about the episode that we can, sidebar on them?
I personally like it.
Yeah, it gives a direction.
Gotcha.
You know where the
Hey,
yeah.
we're on episode 4, baby. So I
Yeah.
just want to make sure we tweak and adjust in the right direction. So if y'all like it, I like it, and let me know down below in the comment section, which no one does yet, but it's okay. We'll get there, baby. So anyway, Piccolo is amazed by Tagama's power. Krillin says that he's on a different level than the other soldiers they fought. Gohan states that Taguma has hidden power comparable to his at his best. Bulma and Jocko are hiding, and Bulma wonders if Taguma can be defeated. Jocko says that it's a 5-on-1. Bulma realizes that he excluded himself from the equation. Taguma is prepared for his first fighter, so Piccolo steps up. Piccolo charges and punches him in the head, but Taguma is unfazed by the attack. He then rips off part of Piccolo's arm and gets several blows on him until Gohan aids Piccolo. And yeah, I did not, I mean, I knew that it was going to be a good fight, but I didn't really think that Taguma was going to be that strong right off the bat,
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think we can all say that Piccolo is a superb fighter in his own right, and he's up there with Gohan. So to see that his punch didn't even affect him says a lot about this guy's power.
Absolutely. Moving on, Taguma explains that he's been Frieza's training partner for 4 months and has endured the pain Frieza inflicted on him, gaining a body as hard as steel, which why we see Piccolo hit him in unfazed. He also says that their elegant attacks have no means to harm him. In the distance, Gotenks arrives and drives into Taguma and hits him in the nuts. It says crotch in here, but he hits him in the nuts. And for all my Team 4-star people, he hit me in the dick.
Oh my god.
Bulma is mad that Gotenks showed up by he says that he joined because he was sitting out while everyone else was having fun. Gotenks notices Frieza as their leader and challenges him to a battle. All of a sudden, Gotenks defuses, which makes Frieza realize that Goten and Trunks are the offspring of Goku and Vegeta, and they look similar to Goku and future Trunks. Goten and Trunks run towards Bulma and Jocko when they felt unsafe. Oh my god, I've watched this episode at least 4 times over the past 2 years, past year. And it's the funniest thing. It really is, because you don't see it coming. It's like there's no way Gotenks is a formidable opponent for Taguma, and then all of a sudden, bam, right in the nuts. And
especially when he just brags that I've developed a body of steel and nothing can hurt me, and a straight shot to the nuts brings him down.
I don't care how strong you are.
Again, it would bring anybody down.
I don't care how strong you are, baby.
You can't train your dick. You cannot train up your dick.
He keeps hitting me in the dick. Oh man, I miss those guys. But yeah, no. Yeah, we'll move on because I mean that's pretty much self-explanatory. Not too much to say there. But okay, so what we're about to see right now, the transition from the nut. I mean, because the nut punch is super significant. Like it really is. Like you don't realize it. Like it's a funny part of the show, but it's super significant. Anyway, so Frieza demands that Taguma gets up and kill Goten and Trunks along with the rest, unless he would like to be killed. While Taguma is still in pain on the ground, all of a sudden Ginyu, who's a frog, shows up and writes change in an alien language on the ground. Taguma reads the alien word and changes bodies with Ginyu as a frog as he takes on the frog body and runs off. Captain Ginyu is relieved to be reborn again and approaches Frieza. Captain Ginyu explains to Frieza his struggles as a frog after being changed into one by the hands of Goku. Ginyu goes on to say that he's been waiting for Frieza's return. But yeah, I'll let y'all speak on that. I feel like I've been speaking this whole episode.
No, I mean, this is a good episode for those who are watching Super and say maybe they haven't really gone to Dragon Ball Z or any the past. There's so much to watch from Dragon Ball Z. You get a pretty good synopsis of past events or some past events with this episode, and I like how Super did that. Because there's some good backstory. So if you're like, who the hell is Ginyu, and why should I be concerned about him? It kind of gives you a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
But also, like, I'm always amazed how far. Well, I mean, just the great timing of Ginyu to happen to be hopping around.
Yeah,
and, like
exactly.
he's just right there. Oh, Frieza's back. Oh, I'm just gonna like hop across continents and then I'm gonna be right there. You know.
Well, he had been following Bulma for a while in Dragon Ball Z,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, I think
Like
so.
you see little
Stalker alert.
remnants. Yeah, I mean, I would follow her too. But anyway, not in that sense. It's a cartoon, guys.
Creeper.
In the sense of, hey, I know her, and she's probably like my closest link to coming back to normal.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah.
Well, because didn't they switch bodies, right?
They did for a little bit. Yeah. He did in Dragon Ball Z. He switched his body.
He was inside of her. Giggity.
These breasts feel great.
I never want to change back. look at this pose. Oh, we are adults. But yeah. So but yeah, again, that transition, like if there's no nut punch, like Tagoma stays Tagoma. You know what I mean?
It was necessary.
It was. I mean, it's brilliant writing, and I love it. So yeah, Frieza is pleased to see Ginyu back in his forces. Ginyu then approaches the Z fighters and powers up and recognizes Gohan because he was a Vegeta on Namek. Ginyu first attacks Tien, then unleashes a blow to Master Roshi, Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan. Ginyu is pleased with the body he's in because Tagoma's abilities. Piccolo realizes that Ginyu has drawn more power than before and says that he can't be beaten. Gohan takes on Ginyu as his challenger. While this is transpiring, Bulma, Trunks, and Goten spent time trying to contact Whis with the Strawberry Sundae. Why doesn't Jocko believe this? Again, I know we mentioned it before. Jocko is like Guardian of the Galaxies over here. Mm-hmm. Doesn't know that Whis and Beerus are real people.
I like if we can really think about this like from multiple different types of series that are out there, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess you could you can consider like Jakku like part of the Nova Force, where they don't really understand that there's like the Eternals, like there are these upper level beings that are out there that exist. That's the only thing that I can think what it reminds me of a little bit. But yeah, he's pretty much an idiot.
Yeah, I hate him, and he's a coward too in this episode,
yeah.
And it really makes me mad compared to how people are, like the good guys, how they really their pride and their I don't know what the proper word to say, but like how their pride towards other people in their group. Talking about, and we'll reference this later. But I think when Goku was dying or being killed, Gohan looked away. Piccolo said, like, show respect. You know what I mean? Like, show respect. You need to see how he dies. That way you respect him more, and then you can avenge him. Anyway, we'll get we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, Beerus is devouring pizza, which is to his liking because of its greasy feel. We asked him if it was too early. The what?
Pizza's an everybody food. Everybody loves pizza.
How long has he been alive and he's barely finding out about
pizza? I know,
right? Like, have you lived, bro? Like, have you lived?
To be fair, he got a long universe to like investigate. So I sometimes like to give the benefit of the doubt. He's just been exposed to eons of shitty food until he gets to Earth.
So Earth is the only people with pizza. Like, come on.
It's the culinary epicenter of the world. The
he
universe.
Hasn't lived. Beerus has not lived, and that's very sad. No wonder he is so angry. We just asked him if it's too early to send both Vegeta and Goku to, quote-unquote, that place, but Beerus counters saying that he needs them to get strong faster so he could use them as his playmates. Weird. In that place, quote-unquote, it's literally called that place. Vegeta and Goku are struggling to move. Vegeta realizes that to move, they shouldn't let their ki leak out of their body. The pressure Vegeta realizes comes to the terms of God Kai. Also, the heat reminds Goku and Vegeta of the hyperbolic time chamber. Goku says that since time is faster than Earth's, they had to find food but without knowing where to go. They go to Whis' staff as a guide. I like the fact that we get little reminiscences during the saga of Goku and Vegeta and seeing what they're doing. I think it's a nice little teaser, and like it doesn't take away from the focal point of the story, and it still gives that fan service of showing Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is. Go ahead, Goose.
Well, I was gonna say that I love that they tied in like how it resembles the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
Because then does that mean that Dende has access to that dimension?
No,
is that what they have been?
I don't think so. I think it's just like a hyperbolic time chamber. It's not the hyperbolic time chamber.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of I started taking like a deep like rabbit hole dive in my head when that came up because it's like did Earth or other places and you'll explore other universes and things like that in this saga. Was Earth and did it have it already a part of the link to the gods, and because of that that's the reason for the Saiyans' greatest like they're besides the Saiyans themselves being like a race that could like leap in power whenever they wanted to by training, did the training in the hyperbolic time chamber accelerate that? Was there always a part of the god Ki, Kai, whatever, when they were training, but they just could never get to it until this saga? Like you start to like until Super it gets introduced, and it's a great way of like Super did a great job of tying in that introduction to God Ki Kai, and then like it's again hey there had to be some bases in Z without like saying it in Dragon Ball Z. So I thought it was like, man, okay, there was a definite like big link from the past to the present, and now it's like, oh, okay, now it's started to kind of make sense. But and also, I didn't see this episode initially when I started watching Super. It's like, oh, okay, maybe there's more to it. But that's just my thought.
Well, I never thought about that. But go ahead, Goose.
Well, I mean, it would make sense for each guardian of their own world to have access to this other dimension that would give them the ability to train or use it to their advantage. I mean, when you really think about it, it's got to be seen like a giant corporation where they all have the same kind of resources, or at least have access to those resources. That's the way I see that they would have access to that, because you have different levels of authority within this universe. You have the Guardians, you have the Kais, the Supreme Kais, and of course you have the Destroyers. So it would make sense that each world's Guardian has access to it.
Yeah, gotcha. Something of that sort. Yeah.
So I mean, now the more y'all talk about it, it's like it ties in all together. Like you were saying, if Dende has access to it, but it's like maybe it's like a wormhole to one direct place, which is interesting to think about. Just on the top of my head when y'all were talking about it, because you remember in Dragon Ball Z that Boo destroys it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Or just the entranceway at least.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Something to think about. We'll, if you want to take this next week to take a deeper dive into it, we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Moving on to, I think, the meat and potatoes of this meat and potato episode. And mind you, keep in mind, like, there's only 2 scenes in this whole episode. There's, the face-off between the Z Fighters and Frieza Force, and a quick little, resemblance of Goku and Vegeta in that place. Excuse me. But it's still very captivating and still entertaining. Anyway, so back on Earth, Gohan challenges Ginyu, but is connecting hits to him. But it's connecting hits to him because he slacked off training. What? That doesn't make any sense. The words are words, huh? Those are definitely words. So no, it's for real. This is what it says on the wiki. Back on Earth, Gohan challenges Ginyu, but is connecting hits to him because he's slacked off training. Jesus. So but
spell check.
But isn't. I'm sure it's meant to say isn't, but isn't connecting hits to him because he slacked off in training. Ginyu takes control of the fight quickly and delivers several attacks to him. Gohan, out of desperate need, transforms into Super Saiyan, which surprises both Frieza, Sorbet, and Ginyu as well. That's not both. That's 3 people, idiot.
Cares about grammar on Wiki.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Dragon Ball Wiki, for making me sound like an idiot. More of an idiot, let me say that. So anyway, Ginyu is pleased that Gohan has more power and is ready to fight more. Gohan easily overpowers Ginyu in 2 hits. Gohan's conversation with Ginyu sends Frieza into sheer rage because it reminded him of his conversation with Goku on Namek. Which, before we finish these last 2 sentences, he's talking about how when Goku spared Frieza's life and gave him enough energy, like he was a charity case, as he said it in the episode. So he didn't like this. He doesn't like to be seen as second best or inferior to what he calls the monkey race. But yeah, we'll continue here. So it's Frieza. He confronts Gohan. So Frieza fires death beams into Gohan, leaving him in the dust. After Frieza fires off his last death beam to Gohan, Piccolo decides to take the beam instead of Gohan, and instead of freaking blocking it, and dies.
Yeah. But I, honestly, like, looking at the scene, I mean, it took me back to, because it mirrors what happened in Dragon Ball Z, where, Piccolo saves Gohan's life.
Yeah.
And it kind of just brought it back full circle. Like, it was just, I don't know, it made me feel nostalgic,
Yeah, for sure. It was a throwback. My thing is, why is Gohan sad? There's fucking Dragon Balls, man. You know what I mean?
That's what my fiance said. Oh, he's gonna come back anyway.
It's the name of the show.
It's meaningless.
It's the name of the show. Jesus. Anyway,
they've done it so many times, man.
I know. And that's what I was thinking about, like, when Krillin was so scared to fight. It's like, dude, you've been dead twice. Like, you're gonna be all right, bro. Like, we got this,
you're coming
man.
Back.
Anyway, but that being overlooked, and if you can just see past it, and see it as the show that it is, it was a very sad moment. It's just like, man, you really see, like, over the series of Dragon Ball Z, and you'll continue to see it in Dragon Ball Super, you see, like, the bond, like the somewhat unspoken bond that Piccolo and Gohan share, Sure. Because let's face it, like, Goku wasn't there. Like, Goku's a bad dad, like, he really is.
It's a pretty shitty ass dad.
No, he is. He really is, and and no one faults him for it. He doesn't know better. He's kind of slow.
Yeah.
But you really see that bond that Piccolo and Gohan have, and it's really nice. It's really one of those things that it makes you appreciate the show a little bit more, and it's a beautiful, beautiful way of having that good character development without having to do a backstory. Like, when you don't have to do a backstory and it just happens naturally, it's more meaningful. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's ways to do it correctly with a backstory. I get that, but in this particular instance with Gohan and Piccolo, it's just amazing over the years.
Yeah, I think there was a few episodes in Dragon Ball Z where there is definite, like, monologuing from Piccolo